Hey everyone, another video on the boat here. Just wanted to show everybody what I've been doing with it. So far since I've had the boat, I've pulled off all the carburetors. I've got 3 carburetors on here. Pulled them off and rebuilt them, went through them, found some jets that were quite loose. And in the process of putting them back on, I started replacing all my fuel lines, going back to the filter and everything. And while I was doing that, one of these hoses here, this hose here, goes to my oil injection pump. That hose literally fell apart when I touched it. So it was a good thing that I decided to replace all the fuel lines, got that all fixed. I've had the boat running since then, but when I had it running the last time, I found out that the water pump wasn't working. I didn't have any water coming out of my little spigot down here. So, as you can see, there's no lower unit on the boat motor. Redneck lower unit. So I have already gone and I've replaced the water pump here, the old pump. If you can see that inside there, it's got some scoring on the cup housing. This is the plate. It's got some pretty deep scoring on that as well, right through here. So I was losing a lot of water pressure on there. So I got that fixed up. And this is actually the 3rd time I've had this motor off, or the lower unit off, I should say. The first time, I got the pump all put together, put it on, no water pressure. Come to find out that between the cup and the housing, there's an O-ring back in here that I failed to see that needed to be installed. So I took it all apart, put that O-ring in place, put it back together, and then as I'm picking my tools up, I forgot to put this O-ring on. So the 3rd time's a charm here for this baby. So I got that. I'm going to get that O-ring put on there, get this put back on. It's actually pretty simple to do. There's 6 bolts on the bottom here that you have to take off. You can see that, 1 hole here, 1 hole there, and then 2 on each side. And that drops right off. This is the shifter rod that goes from forward to reverse. You got to make sure that that is in reverse when you're taking this off and putting it on these Johnson motors. Because, let me grab one of my picks here. The shifter itself, if you can see that, goes into a bolt hole right back there. So it's quite a challenge to get that off, get it put back on. But I figured out a way to do it. I got a bent hook dental pick here. One that's like that. I can reach in there, grab the shaft, move it around a little bit, and get that bolt put in. So it's not too bad. It's just a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to get that put back on. I'll get the water mush put back on the thing, and we will fire it up here. I'll be back in a bit.
There. Dad, it's cut on your shirt.
That's fine. As long as the splines on that long shaft don't move, it slides right into place.
Oh.
No problems whatsoever there, guys. I would recommend doing some research online or talking to a boat mechanic about it if you are a little apprehensive on pulling the lower unit off. I did a bunch of looking on YouTube here before I did this, and every place that I've looked at all had the same thing. So it's not horribly difficult at all. There is one thing here that I didn't show earlier. That's the trim. I got a different socket here.
Dad, could the motor cut you if it's running?
Oh yeah, cut ya. I don't know how well you can see it here, but I do have a couple of marks here with the white paint stick. I can make them out. I don't know if you can make them out on the camera there, but you want to have that lined up perfectly for your trim, otherwise the boat's going to steer a little weird. So I'll get that put back into place. Here you go, Riley. You can mark that however you want, black Sharpie, an ink pen, an old sharp nail, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way to do that. And by no means, I am not a boat expert. I'm not no certified boat mechanic or anything. I just like turning wrenches on my own stuff. I've been turning wrenches for the better part of 20 years since high school. In high school, out of high school.
What happened to your wrench? Oh, you used it.
So I myself, I'm not afraid to get in there and start tearing things apart. You want them all good and tight. Now here's that fun bolt that I was telling you about. I've got all the neat little tools here. I got a 45-degree needle nose pliers. And I know you can't see what I'm doing here. And of course that shaft moved on me. See if I got it lined up now. Oh yeah. It's lined up. Just gotta get the bolt in now. Bolt is in. Got a long setup here. Swivel with the 3/8 socket. And there it is. I'll finish getting this tightened up and get the water musk put on it, and we'll get back to you. All that excess smoke that you're seeing, it shouldn't be smoking like that. It's because when I put my first 5 gallons of gas in, I mixed it up 50-to-1 oil to fuel ratio. And it didn't smoke when I first had it running. And that was because that one oil line here for the oil injection was all cracked up, so it wasn't getting any oil to it. So thankfully I had some oil in the gas prior to starting it. And now that pump seems to be working, it is smoking like a mother. So I'm going to take this and get it on the water tomorrow, and you guys will be coming along for that ride. First water test on it, and hopefully it don't sink. So the video will be wrapped up here, and I'll have another video coming out tomorrow then. I'll catch you later.